Today's guests are Paul Beeson and Kirsten Anderson, the local couple behind Dairy Queen in Edgartown. While it may be a national brand, they've brought it back to life with that signature Martha's Vineyard spirit. From managing summer rushes to honoring decades of island tradition,
it's been here since 1967, so it's got a legacy and a history here, you know.
They've shown us what it really means to keep things local, even in a franchise. Let's get into it.
So, welcome back to another episode of MVFounders. I'm here with Paul and Kirsten, and they're the owners of Dairy Queen now. Super inspirational people, and I really hope you guys like this pod. All right. So first, who is Paul and who is Kirsten?
I am Paul.
I'm Kirsten.
Awesome.
By default.
So thank you guys for even making it here today, and I really hope that this inspires a lot of people. And we're right here in Dairy Queen, Edgartown. So how'd you guys even get the idea of saying, okay, we want to buy Dairy Queen or do this purchase?
Well, it's sort of an odd story. I was still living in Boston and working up there, and we were trying to figure out me coming back here, et cetera, and the various moving pieces there. And it was just this horrible hot day, and Paul had come in here and had gotten a blizzard. You know, was like, ugh, I'm so tired of landscaping. I just want to make ice cream all day. And I was like, well, funny story. DQs for sale.
Wow.
That day it had gone on the market. And so we sort of, it's a lark. We'll throw it out there. We'll see if it sticks. We'll see if they have any interest in selling us, because this is such an iconic place, right? The transition of ownership was really important to the Celeste. And obviously, holding on to the legacy that Dairy Queen is as such an iconic place on the Vineyard was really important to us. So that's a pretty big commitment. So the whole process was, it was probably 5-6 months between talking to the old owners, going through their interview process, them kind of vetting that we actually wanted to be owner operators and we were taking all of this, seriously, and we weren't just kind of fly by night, and then through all of the corporate franchisee piece of it, which is another extended process. People don't realize how long that is.
Yeah, that's one of the main things, because a lot of times when you think about the vineyard businesses, franchise isn't the main business that comes to mind, right? A lot of people here, they actually don't like franchises. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know, but when it comes on to Dairy Queen, I feel like it just has a special place in the vineyard people's hearts, right?
Yeah. It absolutely does. I mean, the number of people who come in who remember it from when it was across the street, it's been here since 1967. So it's got a legacy and a history here,
And then the vet courts moved it here. Mm-hmm. They owned it for 20 years, and then the Celeste sold it back for
6, 7, something like that. So, it's been 4 ownerships over the last, 40, 50, 60 years.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know how many other businesses have been here that long. I mean, I know there are some, but
Well, I see, because I would see a lot of this, and a lot of times people see Dairy Queen, they see this and they don't know that there's a face behind it, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's just, when I see this stuff, how did you basically learn? All right, so after you learn about the opportunity, right? And you said it took you 6 months of talking back and forth, right?
Right.
Were the previous owners as attached to the business as you guys are now?
I think they started that way, and the Betancourts certainly were. They were, again, owner-operators here all the time. I think the Celestes were, but then it was they were younger and they just had lifestyle changes, and that happens. This, I don't think people understand the level of work that goes into this place. They just sort of see oh, here's an ice cream cone. Yeah. And it's the amount of work behind the scenes and the amount of work every single day, I don't think people understand. I mean, we are pretty much... It's 12, 14-hour days.
Really?
All summer. And it's gotten better this year with, we've got additional staffing, things like that. But it's a process.
Returning staff from last year, which has really helped. We have four high school girls locally that were with us last year. We have people from all over the world.
Really? Come work here?
Yeah.
So why was it important that this franchise stayed on the Vineyard, locally owned by like local people who live here? Why was that important?
I think for a lot of people, it's like a part of their, if they grew up here, it's a part of their growing up. I mean, the Edgartown school kids come over, opening day, there's a line out the door. The last 4 years, it's been the same two kids in line, first in line. Like
they get pulled out of school at 12 and we open at 3. But they sit in the parking lot and throw football. There's beach chairs out there.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah. So every year. So it's really fun and the kids love it. And we're very, again, close to the Edgartown school. We had a lot of the sports teams from the high school come in spring.
Wow.
Baseball team was in a lot.
So that's very interesting that you have like that unique crowd of people here. But since you took over the business, right? What's one of the most unique challenges that you found that you're like, I did not expect that we're going to have to do this? Like,
I don't know that it's unique. It definitely is a piece of the Vineyard because of the seasonality here. I think staffing can be very challenging. I think that because of the cost of living here, staffing can also be very challenging. Ramping up from what your needs are in March when we open or December when we close up to what we need, like last night is a
Probably
challenge to get people in, to get people trained within a very short time frame. Is challenging, and I know that's not unique to us. It's unique to the island or any seasonal community.
Wow. So if you face these challenges, right? Tell me what a typical day at Dairy Queen normally looks like.
So I guess one or both or either of us are in first thing in the morning to kind of deal with the bank, to deal with just sort of making sure nothing's gone completely awry overnight, to, if we're doing the machines, to do the machines, cleaning them, or to make sure that the kid who's doing them is here, sort of a wellness morning check. Then we usually kind of escape for maybe an hour, and then we're back in when everybody else comes in to start setup. Once we open, we're pretty much here. I mean, there's a little go home, walk the dog. We're fortunate that we live 5 minutes away. I mean,
without traffic. We're about a mile away.
Without that, it would have been really, I think, difficult that first year, especially.
Wow.
So, I mean, and then we're basically here till we close. We close at 9, and then there's cleanup, so we're probably not home till 10. So it's definitely sort of a 14-hour day in the middle of it all, of summer.
Insane. Wow.
And we didn't get one delivery one time, but that was really the only time we had to close. Mm-hmm. Other than that, we've been open.
Which is also, and I think, a challenge
7 days a week.
Since March 14th.
Man, that is actually crazy. So, wow.
Yes, it is.
So
it just becomes a routine.
Yeah.
I can see how it does.
On certain days, so we plan accordingly with that. We have to place orders on certain days.
So, are you guys here 7 days a week though?
Mm-hmm.
So, are there any days that you can't be here because of your outside job or anything?
You just make it work. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
You just make it work. One of us is always here.
Yeah. So, all right. So, just give me a little background story first about who you guys are first, because how I know before doing this podcast, I had researched a few things about you guys, and I know that you're a tax accountant. I know that you have a landscaping business, and you basically do landscaping, right? So, has any knowledge or skill from any of these past experiences helped you to basically be better running Dairy Queen?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, she's doing a lot of the prep work for taxes and stuff, and she knows how to do that much better than I would. And just owning a company previously to this taught me about hiring and staffing and dealing with a lot of people. I mean, we didn't have the people that come in here, obviously.
Yeah.
We had, it was, I don't know.
Probably talk louder. Yeah, louder.
And so just owning a previous company definitely set me up more.
Yeah, you had employees. You had a bunch of employees.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were familiar.
I go buy all new equipment, and when I went out on my own.
Okay.
And, it was. So I think that definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
And we were both in the food service business in the 90s. So we're familiar with the work and
Wow.
what that entails.
Right, sort of how you expedite orders, customer service, all of those good things, you know.
But when it comes on to, okay, so now I know when it comes on to two people working together, right? Like, how long have you guys been around each other to be able to work with each other, like, for 14-hour days, right?
I think that, that's always probably a work in progress, right? People have different work styles. They have different approaches to different situations. And so you kind of have to find a balance there. Is it always perfect? Probably not. But, I mean.
But there's no like fighting, and like again,
Yeah.
our crew is awesome, and we just want this place for our crew, especially and all the customers to just have fun. I mean, it's ice cream. You should have fun with ice cream. So
Ice cream is fun.
yeah,
I think that's probably the most fun.
yeah. So I mean, our crew really enjoys working here, and that's why so many came back from last year.
Really?
And we hear all the time, this is my favorite job I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's we try to keep it light and fun and
So,
joke.
okay, so now I know that Dairy Queen itself is a franchise,
Yes.
right? But you're here on the Vineyard, which is quite unique. Have you guys ever had the opportunity to make any tweaks to the menu or add your own island flavor to the menu or just something that's unique to the Vineyard?
That is sort of frowned upon corporately. That
Even
being
though you're
said,
in such a unique spot?
Yeah.
yeah.
We're always supposed to buy, and we have stuck to this, what they sell.
Okay.
So we can't just go make up our own blizzard. I wish we could.
Well, we can with using their products, but
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, there is that, but we just have to buy all Dairy Queen branded stuff.
I mean, I think where we've had the opportunity to be creative is with cake sales. There's really no constraints on the decoration, whatever. We have a woman who's been a friend of ours for a long time who's been working with us on those, and they're fabulous. Like, she is very
People are
creative,
amazed.
and they're really fun and interesting. And that's where I think we've sort of differentiated from the standard, like, here's a DQ cake with some sprinkles. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all you get. She does photo printing. She does just really creative things that are fun. So that's where we've been able to differentiate a little bit. As far as product, I don't know that we want to open that hornet's nest of going off brand. Like, it is a brand, right?
Okay.
And so you
They-
kind of
so
have to
they
buy
kinda
into
wanna-
that a little bit.
Yeah, they want to have it be the same at every store. So that's kind of.
Which it definitely isn't, because people come in and they're like, well, my local, and I'm like, well,
They're
then they're
cheating.
selling something they're not supposed to be.
Well,
I mean,
so like, has there ever been a time where you guys because when I see a lot of these vineyard businesses, right, what I noticed that makes the island unique is that somebody can just be here, they have an idea, and they just said, I'm going to do this idea no matter what, blah, blah, blah. But now you guys have a franchise that you have to keep things like congruent and the same, right? So what are some of the things that you wish you could do? No, like, but you haven't done it, but you're like, oh man, this would be cool if we did this.
We probably get asked 50 times a day for chocolate jimmies,
exactly.
Really?
and they only sell rainbow sprinkles.
Uh,
So everyone's like, okay, just that's all right. I don't need sprinkles. So
People are very committed.
yeah, to chocolate jimmies. That would be one thing.
I don't know, throw booze in the Misty machine and make cocktails after hours.
okay, I see how that would be fun. I see how that would
Do
be
some
fun.
backdoor cocktails with chocolate jimmies. I mean,
Wow. But it's like, all right, so when it comes on to like being open and stuff, right? Would you ever consider going year round? Is that something that you're doing or you want to do
I mean,
that?
we're closed 2 months. We're up through Christmas in Edgartown, and then we open mid-March. We will always open on a Friday so that the kids from Edgartown can come and like do that whole opening day
I
thing.
think this year's March 15th.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Next year.
being 7 days a week, it's kind of nice to have like at least a month to have life, you know?
Yeah, and we traveled a lot. I had to go to Albuquerque for a week last year for a Dairy Queen seminar.
Really, they keep seminars and stuff.
Yeah, it was the last part of my training. I had 19 days in
So you
Colorado.
have to go through like a full training.
Oh yeah, it's 19 days before you open. You have to pass everything.
And I was
Really?
in right outside of Boulder, Colorado, for 19 days.
So what if you don't pass everything?
And then you got to take it again until
In
you
6
pass.
months,
Really?
they make you wait, and you have to get 90% on every test. And there were 5 tests.
What?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: so if that's the situation, right? Does that happen after the purchase or during the purchase?
It's part of the purchase,
Yeah.
right? Your purchase isn't complete until
So,
you
yeah.
tick all the boxes, right? So there's all the
Okay.
financial pieces, and then the big one is the training.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I would be like that would become a problem is if I do the purchase, now I have to go through these rules and now I'm losing cash flow and now I have to pass your test and you know what I'm saying? Like, how would that even make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
And
if I
there's
fail,
serve safe we have to take, obviously, which we pass.
Yeah,
obviously.
that's
and
right. But that's any restaurant business.
yeah.
So
And then she has to go out to her Seattle job, attorney job,
yeah.
at least a couple times a year. So we went there last winter for a week. And so it's nice to get away for a little bit.
I mean, it's nice to sit on the couch. It's nice to have people over for dinner. It's
Yeah.
nice
Wow.
to do like all the normal stuff that you it isn't unique necessarily to this business. And I mean, I feel like if you own a business on Martha's Vineyard in the summer that's in any way customer service, retail, restaurant, you're going to be busy. You're going to work a lot of hours,
Oh,
you
wow.
know, and then your reward is you're going to have some
Downtime
downtime
in
for
the
a couple
winter.
months in the winter.
That's the goal, at least.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think we'll see how this, last year being the first year, I think the numbers and the foot traffic, et cetera, was a little bit skewed because we didn't open till so late because of all the paperwork, et cetera.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of people didn't realize that we were open in the fall because the previous owners weren't. So I think this year we're going to probably see a different pattern, different numbers, and then I think we can make a more educated decision about how much later or earlier we open and close. Yeah.
Okay, because
We've been-
that's what I was asking.
we've been promoting. Everyone asks, like, how late are you up until this year? And I'm like,
Yeah.
always say the Sunday Christmas in Edgartown, which is, we opened March 14th this year, and that's December 14th. So
Interesting.
it kind of works out, and we always say, Sunday Christmas.
So I know you
They're
guys
like,
have
"What?"
all.
I'm like, yeah.
So I know
We
you
open
guys have
till
all
then.
the rules, right? But do they does the corporate basically understand that you guys aren't year round and they understand
Yeah.
that you have to close
Yeah.
do they have any rules against those things?
No, we actually, based on the rules, could close September 15th. So
Really?
I think they should be happy with us that we're open for another
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, no.
Because that's a good thing that you keep it going, right?
Yeah.
From
Okay.
March 15th to September 15th is when we have to be 7 days a week.
Mm.
And we'll go till probably Columbus Day, at least 7 days, and then maybe have a Monday and Tuesday off.
Right.
So we'll see how it all depends on business. If it's busy and there's demand, then we'll stay open.
That's really cool. But when it comes on to, say for instance, you're open on those days, right? How do you market that so islanders know that, hey, because people here, they're just used to businesses close at a certain time.
Right.
But when you guys change the norm, right? How do you let people know about that?
I
How are you
think that's
marketing that
been
stuff?
sort of a challenge. I mean, you can try and address it through social media, which we did last year. I don't know how helpful that was. We certainly if there's a holiday, everything's decorated sort of in the hey, we're here. We're not just putting decorations up for
Halloween.
kicks. I don't, we pay into national advertising as part of our whole agreement, and I don't know how much benefit that serves us out here,
Out here,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
And a lot of that is like food products, and we don't have a full kitchen, so we can only do hot dogs, chili cheese dogs. So a lot of that advertising is for all this food that we don't sell. So it's
Really?
we're paying for this.
And I don't know, we've been fortunate and had some write-ups in both the newspapers for opening, etc. I don't know. I don't know if print advertising is still the way sort of to go,
To be honest, off the island, it's something that you can say that industry is dying, right? Print advertising. But on Martha's Vineyard, like, I've been proven wrong so many times because I'm like a younger generation person.
Right.
So it's like, if you ask anybody my age, they don't read newspapers.
Right.
Right.
They're not doing this.
Right.
But on the Vineyard, it's very different.
Yeah.
Because if you really want to know what's going on or where something is, it's in the paper.
Yeah.
Right.
And most people here, they're reading the paper and they're looking forward to it. I would see, all right, like right now, if you look at the industry, the print industry off the island, it's like a dying industry, like literally dying. Here, it's just like not dying, moderately
There's
stable.
There's 2 papers here, and again, we've gotten written up
A few
both,
times.
both years when we purchase it, and then when we open, and then this year was when we opened.
Yeah.
Pictures of all the kids running in. And,
Well, mediums like this
really great
now
article.
exist. So it's a good thing that mediums like this podcast exist. So it's like, this is going to be a forever thing where people know that you guys exist now, right? And they know that you guys are the new owners. But like, overall, say for instance, take me from being here as like a tourist. So if I come here and I'm just a tourist, right? What do you guys see that's like the most popular thing on the menu for like a tourist person who comes here?
Probably like an Oreo blizzard.
Really?
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's the go-to thing?
Reese's has been flying out of here.
What about locally though? Is the same thing? The same?
Milkshakes.
Milkshakes.
A lot of milkshakes.
We get really good, and I very much appreciate it, business of like landscape crews, painters, construction, etc. All groups of them coming in, and the milkshake is the go-to.
It's like, oh, there's only one person, but they order 12 milkshakes.
Right.
So they're buying for the whole crew, you know? So, so you never really know what people are going to order.
Yeah.
But, one day earlier this spring, we sold like 88 milkshakes.
88 milkshakes?
One day, yeah.
Doesn't sound good for my stomach. Like, that sounds crazy. Like.
All various sizes, usually large.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a core piece of business, right? Like, because you've got obviously your tourists, and so that's great, but that's June, July, August at most, right?
Yeah.
So your core people are really who you want to cater to. I mean, like that. Those are the people that are sort of more important.
So do you
to me.
advertise to them specifically, and then whoever comes in as tourists, they come in?
I don't know that we've really focused that much on advertising, and we probably this fall should. And like we were talking about, we've sort of struggled with like, are our dollars well spent in print media? You can do all the free online like Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But the print media, is that worthwhile of putting money into? And I think we probably should rethink it this fall and maybe do that. We were a little deer in headlights last year.
Well, print media does well here, but what I really see that really does the numbers is foot traffic, like the signs. Because say for instance, you guys are here in Edgartown, right?
Yep.
I've met people who they don't even know there is an Edgartown. And they travel here. And I'm just like, guys, Oak Bluffs is not the only place here.
Right.
You
It's
understand?
not Nantucket where there's only one downtown.
So I'm just like, I'm really like interested when I've seen people, they're just walking around in Oak Bluffs. They haven't been, and I'm telling you the truth. Like I've met people who they don't know that other towns are around. Like they just come and they're in one town and that's it. And then I've also met people on the island who'd never been off the island. Like, you see what I'm saying? So I'm just like, yo, that is really interesting though. So it's just, I would really focus on having signs in all the towns, if that's possible for you. So I think that alone will just because if I they already know the DQ sign, right?
Right.
But seeing it on the Vineyard would be like, oh my God, they have this here? Wow. Like,
We should
you know
go
what I'm saying? We should really go there. Like, so that alone is just a thing where you just put the idea in their head, you put the idea in their head.
No, I think that's a good idea.
All right, so I know you guys took it over from, you said it's been around 1960, you said?
1967.
It was
1967.
across the street before all of this Stop and Shop and all that came in, way before
So
that.
since it's been around that long, right? what have you basically studied about the culture of what it used to be like, and how have you preserved the culture of like what everybody know Dairy Queen to be on the Vineyard?
I think it's always had to do a lot with like kids growing up here, and
I remember when it was across the street.
Right. We get a lot of that from like older customers will be like, I went there back, I took my kids there, and there's even for people who aren't from the island, it's part of like growing up, kids go like after their baseball game, they go to the DQ if they're in, whatever town in like Iowa or Illinois or whatever. It's part of growing up. It's got like this good growing up memory and association for a lot of people. And so I think it's kind of preserving that. That's why like opening day, it's important to us that nobody is in that building before those kids get to go in, because like that is a tradition, so you want to maintain that tradition. And I think as we have this longer and as we're having longer hours, we may be able to start other traditions, but I think it's about tradition. I think it's about kids. I think it's about growing up. It's a first job. It's a first job for some of the kids that we have here this year. It's a first job for a lot of kids.
15,
like you get to kind of help kids understand, like, here's what a work ethic is.
Believe me, like that's something that you really, it's hard to train that,
Yeah.
hard to train what work ethic is. But also, since you guys have been the new owners, like were the past owners like visible? Did people like know them specifically and were able to see them every day?
I don't know the answer to that.
I think with the Betancourts, yes. I think they very much were sort of owner operators. He was, I think, like police chief. So they were a part of the community. Fire chief, sorry. They were part of the community. They were longtime residents. I think the interim came here maybe a little bit later in their lives, etc. So I think they maybe weren't quite as ingrained in the community. I mean, I think for both of us, we're obviously definitely wash ashore and newbies, but I mean, we both came out here early 90s, so.
My first year here was full year was 1991.
Early 90s, man. Like that is.
I know you probably weren't even born.
I was not. Like I was born in '97. Like I definitely wasn't born. But
And
it's just crazy.
became kind of a magnet. I went to school, college at Ohio State, and I come up here for summers, and I graduated, and then I fell into culinary work and did that for 18 years.
Wow.
And during the winter, I got to travel, so I got to live in really cool places for the winter. Yeah.
So what has the community response been like since they know that you're the new owners now? What
Really
has that
good.
been?
Really good. Really great. People, and especially staying open last winter, every second person was like, oh my God, we're so happy you guys are open this early, this late, this whatever, thank you so much, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We have a lot of customers that are here 5 days a week.
Yeah. I mean, you absolutely get to know people by their order.
Yeah. Wow.
Sometimes most of them order the same thing.
They pretty much,
Like, I know what he's doing.
I mean, there's a whole crew of medium twist cones.
So so say for instance, I love you guys' drive, right? I love how you guys just are super confident about what you're doing, right? But what inspiration you guys had to be this confident that like, hey, I can own and operate a business here?
Foolishness. Delusions.
No, I mean, it was just something that it was time for a career change for me.
Yeah.
And again, it just happened on a whim, and
sometimes things just fall into place, right? I mean, that's when I'm like, it was a lark, but it wasn't a lark. It was sort of like, this opportunity's here. Well, let's pursue it. Okay, let's keep pursuing it. Oh, this keeps growing. Huh. Okay, I guess this is really happening.
What?
Guess we're doing this. Cool.
All right, so one of the biggest things that give me confidence a lot of the times is reading, right? Because, say for instance, like a younger person, they don't know certain things exist and whatever, but like to skip a lot of processes, I try to read a lot, right? So that gives me confidence to know that, this is possible because this guy done it before, right? So what are some of those things you've done that gave you confidence? Do you guys read books a lot? What are you interested to get information?
Does more than me.
Yeah. I sort of went to law school on a lark, right? I was like, somebody was like, oh, you should absolutely, a teacher was like, you should absolutely do this. And I'm like, Okay, I'm like, well, I'll take the LSATs. I'll see how I did. Oh, okay, I did well. Oh, I'll apply. I'll see if I get in. Oh, okay, I did well. Let's see how I do after the first semester. Maybe like I won't be able to hack it. Oh, okay, I did really well. I guess I'm doing this. Like,
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just foolish confidence. There's no reason to think you can't
Well, it's
sort of do
also-
anything you want.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, you have to.
Yeah.
To keep the place the way we want it and do not fail, you have to do the right things. You have to
Do the work,
be
and you've
active
got to ask the questions, and you've got to seek out the resources.
Yeah,
Like,
so how do you get resources? Are you reading books? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you listening to like? what do you listen to?
DQ is definitely good with like their sort of support system as far as product and process. They're very good about that. We've absolutely reached out to outside people when it comes to a lot of like the machinery. Some of it is just luck, right?
Really?
And yeah, I mean, there's no really small appliance repair people on the island. So
Okay.
when we have to get something fixed,
So
they
wait,
be here,
DQ,
like,
the
once a
corporation
week.
doesn't help you with that? Like they don't help you with none of those things?
No.
No, that's on you. Yeah, that's on
So
you.
it might be like,
That is
all
interesting.
right, we'll be here on every Tuesday this summer.
Yeah.
It's that they're here once a week. So then you're down a piece of equipment for a week. So you have to juggle and figure that out.
Right, and then there's just talking to other, sort of business owners and how they handle situations. Some of
Okay,
it
so
comes like,
networking.
networking.
Networking gives you a lot of
Yeah,
information.
obviously been there a long time, so we know a lot of other business owners. So we
Yeah.
bounce ideas off them and ask them,
What do you do and how do
Yeah,
you handle
yeah.
this when this
Oh, wow.
happens? You
Yeah.
know, especially, I mean, because I think that is another big challenge out here is ordering and getting supply, getting product over here, right? Boats are, and people will get all aggravated, but it's like, they didn't ship our product. Like, I can't do anything about it. The boat didn't run today. I can't do anything about it. Like, yes, we're closed because the 50 cases we ordered didn't come in today. So, you can only plan so well for some of that.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge.
And again, the ordering has taken us a little while to get used to. Not used to, but down.
Yeah.
Because you can only get once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week. And we only have so much space in the basement
Yeah.
to store everything. So
Can you expand storage? Do you guys have the ability to do this?
Not down there. I don't think that the footprint of this building, if we keep the store in this building, which I think is what is going to happen for the next at least through
8
our
years.
lease, 8 years.
another 8 years.
Yeah.
Which also was important to us because there was opportunity to move it to a different location. But I
Really?
think that this is the spot.
So, but would you guys not move this, but have another location? If you guys want to do that, say you want to have another location in Oak Bluffs, right? Say you have one Dairy Queen here, one in Oak Bluffs. Do you have to go through that same training process again?
We
with Dairy
would have
Queen?
to go through the application to get, I think, a second franchise. It would be considered a second franchise. So
Oh,
you'd
wow.
have to go through the process with the town, with
Yeah, and
Again.
being, like I said, a franchise, there aren't very many on the island.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I don't know if
And there's
they
actually like
let
a
anyone.
right. I don't know how
like,
welcoming they would be to having a second one.
wanted to go to
Oh yeah.
OB, they'd be like, heck no, So
Mhm.
it's, I don't know if we'd be able to expand and
In that capacity. I mean, the way that you could expand would be to not be in this space, go into another space where you'd be able to
add a kitchen.
add a full kitchen and then
Okay.
expand in that way.
Okay.
That for us seemed like more of an undertaking than we were at the point of being ready to do last year.
much more expensive.
Right.
Well, that is very true. So when you guys say, if you guys have like this place opening and you have a new opportunity somewhere else, right? Like in a different town, do you guys need permission from like corporate and stuff like that?
Yeah, we would have to
You have
apply for a
to-
second franchise license.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So everything that goes
And the
along
mental
with
health in
that.
town,
Yeah.
everything would have to be totally
zoning,
approved.
whatever it is, the town. Yeah.
You know,
So I love what you guys basically. So let's go back to the question you answered. Like, I love what you guys said. Networking is the best way you guys get information and stuff like that, right? So what's one piece of advice that you've gotten from somebody here on the island or anywhere else that helped to really help you focus and be better at DQ?
I think there's probably some things that can't be repeated.
All right, what's one that you can repeat? That's like a great advice that actually helped you move the needle. You know.
I think staffing and we hired J1s for the summer.
Yeah.
So that's where, like I said, we have a woman from Mongolia, a woman from China, a woman from Jamaica. We have
Croatians,
3 Croatians.
we've got.
We have a couple. A guy from Houston that was with us last year, and yeah, I think just staffing and then how to figure that.
I think one thing is
out.
consistency of hours, right?
Yeah.
Trying to keep consistent, and that's also sort of a challenge in the off season. But people don't understand if you're not sort of, this is just what we're doing, and this is, we are whatever, pick it, make it up, Wednesday through Sunday. If you start bouncing around, people are just going to get confused. So I think, the advice
Keeping
we
it
got was just
consistent.
to keep things very consistent, which I think is helpful. Then people have expectations and you can sort of meet those expectations.
Okay, that's
I think that has been helpful.
Absolutely.
We got an amazing box cutter. the box cutter of a friend of ours is like, no, this is the one you need. You did more.
that changed the game.
It was a game changer. It really was. It's
No, I
an
can bet
amazing
because sometimes
tool.
the simplest things
It's a
is
game
what
changer.
really moves the needle.
yeah,
You know?
and their boxes, like, I don't know what kind of tape that is, but I mean, you can't like open the box, like just take the tape off. Oh yeah. So, and we go through a lot of cardboard, obviously. So
Yeah.
that was very helpful.
Yes, the
Man,
world's
that is
best
the
box cutter.
So when it even comes on to, say for instance, you're a young person, right? Imagine yourself being a young person on this island, right? And you have all these ideas of something that you want to get done, right? You guys basically, you've been through a lot and you have had the experience of working in a career, you ran your own business. One piece of advice that you could give to another young person that would help them to just basically move forward in taking their advice.
I think you just leap.
Yeah,
You just jump in.
go for
You
it.
can't
Really?
you just go for it. You can't be like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to second guess myself. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I
I'll
can't.
fail. Maybe,
Yeah.
If you fail, you fail. We all fail at things sometimes, but I think you just jump in.
How do you deal with the failure though? Because that's what makes people not do things.
You
know?
Yeah.
pick
So
yourself
scared.
up, brush yourself off, and you move on to the next. You know what I mean? You get back on the horse you fell off of. I mean,
Because some people, they look at failure as like, it's the end. You know?
Right,
It's
yeah.
the
no,
end,
because
bro.
I think you only fail if you never try, right?
Yeah.
If you never
I believe
try,
this.
then you live a life of sort of fear and not going
Uncertainty
forward.
and, like, not being happy.
a lot
You
of
didn't
what
follow your dream.
coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? So
Wow.
do you want to die with coulda, shoulda, woulda, or do you want to die knowing like, hey, I gave it a shot. Like
Really?
maybe I didn't make it 100% of the time, but I tried.
Yeah.
I put myself out there. You know?
So, all right. So, like, your staff, I mean, I know you mentioned you have a lot of different cultures and countries that, what is that your ideal team that you would want, that you're like, okay, like these, I love all these guys and I wouldn't ask for anything else. What's the talent that you're actually looking for that you're like, oh, I wish I had this talent,
Just
you know?
to me, it's more of attitude and just being a team player. It just, everyone has, like I said, we try to make it a very fun work, and sometimes, again, like last night, there was a line out, people were pretty
Yeah.
much all day, so it can get stressful, but everyone's still joking around and
I think
fun. So it's really, we like the diversity because, especially with the high school girls, they get to meet a lot of different people, and who are, most of all the Europeans are like 25, so they're 10 years older than these girls are.
Wow.
So they get to learn a whole different thing and explore
meet people from
through
different,
that.
because this is a very insular island sometimes. So meeting people from all different walks of life and parts of the world, I think is really good for them. I mean, I think you have to kind of look at your team as everybody brings something to the table, right? It may not all be the same, and you kind of don't want it to all be the same. Everybody has their own strengths, so you emphasize people's strengths. I mean, what would I like ideally? I'd like to have a couple more year-round people. That would be great.
Okay.
Honestly, I'd like to have somebody who speaks Portuguese, because the Brazilian community is about a third of the community out here,
Now
right?
we're
So to
talking.
not
Now we're
have
talking.
anybody that speaks Portuguese on our team
Yes.
is problematic to me, and I think it would be much better for us if we could locate that candidate, right? And that's sort of been in the works, and the right person will come along. Like it will happen.
Believe me, I don't think you're short of that.
Yeah.
That's
We just have to find that person.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be infinitely helpful.
I think that person will find you, and a lot of the times you don't even know. It just happens randomly. You're probably not even thinking about it happening, you know? So, and especially like this podcast going out and stuff, I'm pretty sure that person will come find you, especially here.
No, and it's just been, we've never had to advertise for help.
Wow.
I mean, we had all March when we were open, like every day there were 5 people coming in,
Yeah.
kind of already staffed. So it was like, let me take your name and number, and something opens up. But yeah, we've never had to advertise for help. So it's
Is also that's like summer help, right? So that's all the J1s, all of whom like have been great, wonderful, but that comes with its own challenges, because we're not the first job for everybody. We're the second. So Sunday is just a madhouse of juggling schedules. Okay, so and so can work these hours. How do all the pieces of the puzzle fit together?
Wow.
Which gets a little crazy. Off season, when you've got people that are on just these are my shifts, is a lot easier.
And you don't in the off season.
Yeah.
You don't need as much staff, so it's a little bit easier to schedule.
Right. We're scheduling half the people.
So
You
like,
know.
okay, so how many people are on the team in the summer versus the winter?
Right now we're at about 15.
15? That's insane. I wouldn't even imagine that for just Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
15. I mean, there's sort of a sweet spot of how many people work day and how many people work night, as far as if it's busy, the space and people being able to work together. But yeah, 15 right now, and then off season it goes down to maybe 6 or 7.
That's not bad.
7 or 8 tops. We have one of the girls just got here from Jamaica. She worked here a couple of years ago. And she's here till we close. So that's definitely one. The high school girls will be here, so that's 5. Lee staying until mid-November, so that's 6.
But then, the staffing is weird, because you have this sort of like 3 months of insane intensity and juggling and all of that, and then back to
That's easy. And then the spring was easy, not easy, but easier, because a lot of people weren't here yet.
Yes.
So, and we didn't need a ton. I mean, we were much busier this spring than we ever thought we'd be.
I can bet.
I figured it was going to be busy opening day weekend, and and then it kind of trolled off, but it never really stopped. It just kept build up,
which is great. I mean, no complaints, but we hadn't done it yet, so it's till June we hadn't done. Until June, it was like still the first year, right? Even though it was sort of technically the second year. But even now, you never know. You just
people call out all the time. People are 2 hours late all the time. It just not all the time, but someday, like one day, pretty much every day.
People,
every day, there's something that goes awry.
Right, or it pours rain, or you schedule because it's June and then there's a nor'easter.
I didn't even think you had so much people on staff. I genuinely thought this was like 4 people the max.
No, we have.
But what are you doing? What are you guys doing on a daily basis? Like, what are you?
Everything. Pretty much. I mean, there's always scheduling, placing orders, doing payroll, all the back end paperwork, all the like paying bills, insurance, yada yada yada, all that kind of stuff. That is always low grade there, right? But there's always something to be cleaned. There's always something to be stocked. There's always something, that you need to jump in because all of a sudden they got crazy busy and Susie went on break, so they're short a person. So you jump in on the register, or you jump in behind the line and help, or you just sort of expedite, like, hey, where are we at? Okay, what are we doing? Okay, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. This is what we're doing next.
The assembly line,
Yeah.
So,
Whoa.
yeah, I mean, it's just, there's not really much downtime. I mean, it's not like we're sitting in back or sitting down in the office. Like,
smoking cigarettes, hanging out, like, vaping, whatever it is people do now. I guess you don't smoke anymore.
But yeah, I mean, there's always, like Kirsten said, there's always something to do when you're in a business. And that's why we want to be hands-on to make sure everyone's happy, everyone's getting along.
Correct.
It's the way it should look, like.
It's always cleaning, like fixing. Oh, this isn't working right. Oh, have we thought about this? Oh, answering the phone. God, that thing rings.
Take orders, and then we have to change the ice cream bags, depending on how busy, but several times a day, and they're 50 pounds each.
Wow.
So
50 pounds is
a
crazy.
lot of the girls are, we've got a couple that are sort of 50 pounds themselves, right? So, like, you got to jump in and do that. I'm not going to ask somebody.
He weighs 50 pounds and I have to bring this 50 pounds.
Right.
Yo, that's
So,
crazy.
yeah, again, there's always something. There's never, and I leave. You got always had a dog, but now we got a new puppy about 6 weeks ago. And so I leave a couple times a day to go home, walk him, let him out. But other than that, pretty much both here.
Okay, so just to wrap this up, this is probably the question that I really want to be answered, right? So, say you guys are here now, you're the new owners and everything, and you guys are basically setting the standard for whoever buys you out in the future, So
when and if we can ever retire.
see, and it's like, what is the legacy you guys want to leave back, especially, and what's the footprint you want to leave on the island that people would know you for and to remember you guys for?
Just being, to me, main thing to me is just being a friendly, fun place and make sure everyone enjoys everything. Anything gets screwed up, we fix it instantly.
Wow.
Like someone made the wrong thing. Okay, here's another one.
Really?
So it's just, that's an important part to me, and to kind of keep the tradition.
Right. Staying a part of the community, not being sort of a faceless franchise, but remaining part of the community in a place where, 10 years or 20 years from now, kids will be like, oh my God, I was first in line every year for 5 years when they opened, or, oh my gosh, I remember we always went after baseball practice to the DQ, and, just that it's part of the community, part of kids growing up.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even think that was a big deal of who's first in line. Maybe you guys should.
It is.
You probably should have a photo, throughout the year of who's actually first in line. I think that would make it matter more.
I think they made the paper this year and maybe last year.
It's the same. They've
you
been
need that
doing
up.
it. It's a friend of ours, his kids, 2 sons, and now they've incorporated another family.
I just believe that if you had a photo of who's first in line and then he goes to the paper and you put it there, the next year line for who's first in line would be crazy. Guaranteed that. I already know that.
We promised them
opening
that,
day is pretty intense. I mean, it is just like kids running in and it's fun.
Shrieking and running up the ramp and just so excited.
Like that door opens and they're in.
But yeah, it's a friend of ours and the old owners, the Celeste, they started it with them.
Yeah.
Our friend, asked us, hey, can we continue doing this? We're going to keep that tradition. So the last 2 times we've opened, they have done it now 4 years in a row.
Well, and I want to see what happens when they get into high school. Are they still going to do it?
You never
when
know.
they're in college, are they coming back for opening day?
People love traditions. You never know. But I love this. But man, you guys have been insanely amazing. And it's very informative too. I just really hope that this can help whoever watches this podcast. And I really hope you guys get to know these guys, because I met Paul and he's the nicest guy ever. And I felt like I already knew him. It felt like we already knew each other, bro. And I'm just like, yeah, that's crazy. But thank you guys again for doing the podcast. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Paul.
Thank you.
No
and
problem.
it was such a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for doing this. And
Look what happens when you go to the post office. You end up on a podcast.